Sega. Hey folks, Fromark here with the Fromark Plays show as always. And this time around I'm going to be playing a 1993 Sega Genesis classic, Rocket Knight Adventures. And what this is it's kind of like one of those mascot platformer games, and it was actually a brief mascot platformer franchise for Konami, which was just one of many different mascot platformer franchises of the 1990s created to cash in on the success of Mario and Sonic at the time. This is definitely one of the better ones though, as this was released on the Sega Genesis over here in America on September 3rd, 1993. And what this game is this game involves that little blue dude there. His name's Sparkster, and he's a possum. And possums are cool as heck, you know. Possums are cool as heck because they eat bugs and ticks, and they are immune to rabies, and they're cute as heck, and definitely cool animals. Like, possums are cool and they are valid. Anyway, it involves this blue dude named Sparkster, and this is actually a Sega Genesis exclusive, as there was a version on the Super Nintendo that was planned, but it never happened. This is actually a game, though, that I wasn't familiar with until around 2013, 2014. And whenever I still had my Sega Genesis collection, this was one of the games I had for it, because I feel like this is I would say this is probably one of the best games you can own for a Sega Genesis console. Easily one of the best games on the system. But it's basically like a side-scrolling platformer slash beat-em-up slash shooter kind of thing. But anyways, it involves this blue dude named Sparkster, and what you gotta do is you gotta rescue that princess that was captured by the well, there's a blue enemy who's kind of similar looking to Rocket Knight. His name is actually Axel Gear. But anyways, he captures this princess of this kingdom, and where have I heard this before? But there's a lot of pigs involved. There's an item called the Pig Star, which is a ship that you gotta go to at the end, and after you defeat Axel Gear, you face down this ship, and a lot of crazy stuff. But that's pretty much the gist of the story here. But you gotta battle enemies leading up to Axel Gear, as you actually face off against him a couple of times throughout the game. But yeah, this game's freaking awesome. Even though you can blaze through it in probably about an hour, yeah, this game's freaking awesome. I mean, you can rack up points pretty quickly and knock all these enemies out of the way pretty quickly, but the points don't really matter in this game. All that matters is trying to beat each level without running out of those hearts. Those hearts are your health, and you can either take half of a hit or full hits, and you get 8 hearts. Gonna launch through that castle, though. This looks like the Kingdom Castle that was just infiltrated. As Axel Gear and his minions have already wreaked havoc on this place. Guess he's not really the main villain, because I mean, you have that Pig Starship where there's all kinds of different villains you gotta face off against, and they're more so like the main villains. Although Axel Gear is one of them in the final world, or stage. There's a total of 7 stages in this game. Each of them of varying length and difficulty, and This one's actually pretty easy to get through. I mean, it is the first stage. In my personal experience, I think stages 5 and 6 are probably the hardest ones to get through. Although I've tried to make it look easy when I recorded all this stuff. That's just because I spent hours slaving away at this game. Because I take a very perfectionist kind of almost... Although I miss a lot of crap, of course, but I try to take an almost perfectionist approach where when I practice my playthroughs, I won't feel confident until I can get through any game without dying once. Even if I manage to die when I record it. But anyways, we've made it to the end of stage 1, and this is the first boss. I'm actually not sure what the name of this enemy is supposed to be. Of course, I went into this game without a lot of knowledge on the backstory or any of that stuff. Any of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Although I do have a Wikipedia pulled up, I have rocked a wiki and I am kind of glancing over it from time to time. But yeah, I'm surprised this game didn't get a lot more recognition back in the day because it's pretty cool and it definitely is one of the better Genesis games, like I said. But like I said, my first experiences with this were back in probably 2013, 2014, thanks to the magic of emulation. I don't know if there are currently any ways to legitimately buy this game. There's Axel Gear, he's the blue dude. Of course, he's got that princess captured. Who's he think he is, just kicking that king around like he owns the place? But anyways, he'll fly off in that ship that's pretty much stage 4. It's got stage 4 in it. But we gotta worry about stage 2 first. But yeah, there were actually several games in this Rocket Knight series. There was a sequel for this on the Genesis, and it was called like Rocket Knight Adventures 2 Sparkster or something like that. And then there was a version on Super Nintendo. Well, actually, it was a separate game. It was just called Sparkster, which I have played a little bit of it, but I'm not very good at it, and I feel like it's a lot more difficult than this game. But yeah, already all kinds of stuff flying at you here in stage 2. But all kinds of goodies here. Now there's rubies or whatever they're supposed to be. They just give you a few extra points. They're not like coins or rings. I like how in this game you can kind of go behind the scenes there, or behind the waterfall. Behind the music. And we got this mini boss here who's some kind of worm, perhaps. But anyways, you just gotta keep hitting him in that, at the end of his tail where that red ball is. He actually goes down pretty quickly there, as you see. Now, those apples there represent health. As you get, I think, 1 per apple, 1 heart per apple. But if you get if you get a bunch of bananas, it's 3 or 4 hearts. And those bat enemies are pretty annoying. Especially in the next level. But we'll get there. Yeah, whenever I first seen this game for the first time, I thought maybe it was gonna be like a Mega Man knockoff, but it's definitely far from it. Or yeah, the sequel to this game was called Sparkster Rocket Knight Adventures 2. But yeah, in the 1990s, it was a really big thing for mascot platformers. It was like there was like a really big boom because of Sonic and Mario's success. Everybody wanted to cash in on that stuff. And to be fair, some of them were really good games, like this one. Games like Ristar, or Ristar, however the heck you say it. I do plan on doing that for the channel one day. Definitely want to record that for the channel. Of course, Ubisoft had Rayman, Accolade had Bubsy. Rare had Donkey Kong Country. One of these days I need to get around to recording Donkey Kong Country 2. Got like a whole list of games I can record. But I'm only getting started. But yeah, there's a lot of pattern-based elements in this game. But any platformer, I feel like, has a lot of patterns to it, because once you memorize the direction of where enemies go, where they're gonna be, when they're gonna be, what platform is where, it makes it a lot easier to get through. Not really sure why that chicken's hanging around. He just kind of flies away. He doesn't do anything. But this is the main boss of I keep saying world. This is the main boss of stage 2, and it's basically just this train that's coming at you. And now you gotta keep attacking his hands, he's throwing hands at you. What are we gonna do? He wants to throw hands. I'll throw hands. Actually, I just throw this projectile. But no problem with the hands there. And now on to the third and the final phase of this boss battle. But you just gotta keep hitting that spot on the back of it. Watch out for those blue orb things. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the stage 2 boss, and that's gonna do it for the first part of this playthrough. This is Fromark, and I will see you all in part 2.